Hello everybody, this is Dave here. I'm joined by Chris.
Hey.
And we're continuing on talking through Ticket to Ride. And today we have Ticket to Ride Germany. And here it is set up right here. And this is actually this is the latest version, box version of the game that has been released from Days of Wonder. That would be a complete set. However, it is not a new one.
No. This
is actually a English version of what was released as Zug Deutschland, which was Ticket to Ride in German, and that was a European only release. And it also has the expansion that integrated that came with it that has passengers here. Now, if you had watched our video on Ticket to Ride Märklin, the passengers were introduced in that one, but they are re-implemented here in a different way. So we're not going to go over how to play Ticket to Ride. We're just going to talk about what are the new features of this game and show off some of the really cool things. First thing that I do want to show off is the artwork for the train cards, because these are from the turn of the century. And so if you look at some of these, they've got some really neat artwork. Again, colorblind friendly with the symbols up in the corners, but some really neat train cards that I'm really impressed with. The other thing too is we have the destination tickets that are going to be long and short. And we have the green ones are the short ones and the orange ones are the long ones. The green ones have values of 3 points to 11 points. The longer ones have values from 12 to 22. And when we, at the beginning of the game, we're going to draw 4 tickets, and we're going to say what, we have to declare how many of each type that we're going to take. And we're going to have to keep, in the beginning, I think we have to keep 2.
I believe so. I think it's 2.
Let me just check to make sure. We have to keep at least 2 in the beginning, and then later on when we draw tickets, we have to keep 1, and we will again have a choice of being able to decide which of the destination tickets we're going to draw from. Now, the other thing is these passengers, and in Märklin we had passengers that we could put out on the board, and they would move around, and you would pick up these merchandise tokens. This one here, the passengers are seated on the board, and this is actually from the expansion that was put out for Zug Deutschland. And what we have done is we have seated the board. We have taken, there's 20 of, let me see how many there are. There are 10 of each color of these passengers. There's 6 different ones. So we have 60 passengers, and the game comes with this black pouch. We put them in there, shake them up, and we will seed the board according to the rule sheet right here, and it will show you in each of the different cities how many you're going to put out. So some of them have more, a lot of them have only 1. And the interesting thing for this one is the colors for the players is going to be the same as Märklin. We have the white and purple, and then we have black, red, and yellow from the German flag. Also, it's the exact same map as Märklin, but way better artwork.
Huge facelift.
Way better artwork. So, and then of course this one, another change from Märklin is with the Globetrotter. When you claim the most destination tickets, it's worth 15 points opposed to 10. So the main thing, like I said, the main thing with this one is going to be the how we're going to get these passengers, and it's really cool. So Chris has a hand set up, and we're going to show you. He's going to claim a route. So he's going to go ahead and play the cards out.
Okay, I have 4 blues. I'm going to use 3 blues and a wild. These will get discarded as normal, and let's just say I was going to go right here.
So he's claiming this. He's claiming this route right here from Frankfurt to Kassel. And once he puts his trains out on the board, what he's going to do then is take passenger meeples, 1 from each side of the connected route if there are available. So the yellow one he's going to take for sure. And then he has his choice of one of the other three, the green, the blue, or the red on the opposite side.
I'll go for green.
So he's going to grab the green one. Now, the colors of the passengers, the only significance is as at the end of the game, what's going to do is there's going to be a comparison to see who has the majority of each of the different colors of passengers. So we have, we will go through and look through each one. So for example, we'll look at the yellow meeples. Who has the most yellow meeples at the end of the game? Whoever has the most is going to gain 20 points. Whoever has the second most is going to get 10 points. And ties are friendly, so you have the same amount. Like if you both have the same amount for the most, you're going to both get the 20 points. So that's really, really cool. And this game can garner a lot of points. So that's pretty much the main thing that with this particular map that makes it stand out. There's no, other than the passengers, no real bells and whistles in this one. So
I mean, you've got country to country potentially, because we have France. What else do we have here?
Oh, we have France. Down at the bottom, we have France. We have Switzerland. We have Austria. Up at the top, we have Denmark, and we have the Netherlands over there. So we have the surrounding countries that you can actually connect country to country, and those are gonna. Well, some of those may show up on the longer tickets.
Yeah, I think so.
So this one here, impressions, Chris.
I really like this one a lot. I like the fact that the passengers are a set collection, and I tend to like set collection in a lot of games, and it's just done so well. You're not going to win just off the passengers. You have to balance between getting your destinations done first, and then try to get in the running for the passengers.
What do you think of the? So that's your initial impression with me. I like this one, and I didn't talk about it in Märklin, but this one you definitely, the way that the map is constructed on this board, you have. It bodes well for my strategy of being able to build a backbone, I call it, of trains. In fact, we played this last Friday, and I had a line of trains that went all the way from Denmark all the way up at the top, came straight down the middle, and connected down to Switzerland and branched off. And I was able to collect a number of tickets along the way, as well as garnering quite a number of passengers.
Right.
So it does lend well to that for strategy. This one, so I want to talk about the production value first, because there's some positives and there's some negatives. Mostly positive.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Love the artwork on the map. And if you watch Märklin and look at the map, the other one just looks bland and boring. This has got it's just nicer with the way the pictures are. Before, it just had a font where it said, oh, it's France. Okay, it said basically France. They used a little bit of a different font right here for all the city names. The country actually has some texture and more of the artwork that we're like kind of get accustomed to in some of the newer maps. I like the scoring track around the side of the board as well, but most importantly, I love the new train cards. In fact, Chris, let me have that locomotive over there.
This is gorgeous.
Because I love the locomotives for this one. I think that these look really, really awesome. It's a turn of the century. Is when this one is set in, and I just love that steam train that just looks awesome.
And even if you turn this over, I mean, the back art is not bad either.
Yeah, the train backs look fantastic on here. So definitely, like in terms of packaging, it looks great. And then gameplay with this one, I like the set collection like you do, Chris, also, and it is and the one thing that I will say with this is, it lends well for a strategy, being able to claim the routes. The game does have some competition, especially at higher player counts. You've got some spaces here, like right here between Castle and Erfurt, that's kind of a key spot down here. So you can have some good battleground. You still have the triple routes, which is nice, but with the passenger implementation in this game, it adds a viable strategy of being able to try to collect some of the passengers if some of your destination tickets, if it starts to go south.
Right.
Okay. So that's one of the things that I like. I think that this one is very, very family friendly. In fact, this one was kind of one that I would almost say is a great entry level one, because I think that this one, in fact, this one is my favorite of the boxed set maps. This one is, like, of all the ones that come in a box, it's like a complete set. Ticket to Ride Germany is my favorite.
This might actually be my second favorite, and we'll get to my number one in a couple of videos, but. Yeah, really, really good with this one. You have some spots to gain a lot of points. You look at along the side of the map, and we showed you before, you've got some ones that are, that's a 7 space, that's 18 points to be able to go in there. So it bodes well in the long game. Now, there is something that we saw. Oh, the one thing with this game is the gameplay is definitely exciting. And this game, you can generate a lot of points. In fact, one of the guys we played with on Friday scored over 300 points. And I'm going to tell you the secret as to how you do that. Get a bunch of trains out there that go around, and then in late game, start going through the destination tickets and rifle through the long destination tickets. Because if you look at this stack over here, there are not as many of the long tickets as there are the short ones. And so what happens is people are getting that deck. As you reject them, they go back to the bottom of the stack. Well, you can start going through and drawing them out and fishing out and get a lot of points. And he was able to generate a ton of tickets at the end of the game, being able to do that, as well as snagging up passengers, because the more trains the more trains you get out, you can get them there. The other thing too, strategy-wise, is get your trains out early. It's not uncommon. Like Chris found out the hard way. I had a rough game. Yeah,
we played 4 players, and when we played this last Friday, opening move for 2 of us was to put trains out on the board and started gathering up passengers. And he's like, "Oh, here we go."
Actually, I think it was everybody but me. So
no.
I believe 3 of you.
Okay, well, we all grabbed passengers, and Chris was like, "Okay, well," and if you wait. And you want to claim some, you want to start getting trains out, get some of those passengers early. Don't hoard cards in this game, because you may be able to connect routes later on, but you're going to miss some of the passengers, because in higher player counts, especially with the double routes are open. Well, a lot of these first come, first serve. So somebody comes in here, boom, grabs them. Well, the second person's going to come in and be able to claim the route, but they won't get those passengers. So.
Even though you may not win with the majority of the passengers, they're nice buffers, I think.
Yes.
In case something happens.
Right. And that's what I said before. And even if you have the second most, and I think that's the neat thing too, like I said, and why this would bode more well for families, is you still have a chance to get those points. So you don't have that, like I said, if you miss a destination ticket or 2, it may not be the end of the world, because you may have majority and a couple of passengers are going to be able to make up for it. So this one, like I said, this is an awesome map. I love this one. Super clear to see. It's got exciting gameplay that can generate a lot of points. It's not complicated with any extra mechanics other than just grabbing these passengers. So it's still kind of a vanilla game, but just the way that that's presented, the way that it feels, and then you do have control over the amount of risk with the destination tickets. Do I want to try and go more for the long ones, or do I want to play it safe and go for the short route? Again, that's a game that can decrease the amount of that punishing feel if you just off a random draw where you may get stuck with something that's really long and you can't do anything with it. So definitely, like I said, this is my favorite one from the box set. So any closing thoughts, Chris, or that's about it?
I think you touched on everything I would have added.
All right.
I think we're all set.
So again, Ticket to Ride Germany. This is the one that's available now. So when I talked about Märklin,
This is actually, if you can't get a hold of Märklin, or if you weren't interested in it but you wanted to play on a German map, this is the one to get. So that's our thoughts while we're talking through Ticket to Ride. And join us again for next video as we keep working our way through these series. We'll talk to you again soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.